Hey everyone, I am just setting this up here. Cool. All right. Welcome. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna plug in my internet quick. We want to make sure this is a clear connection so that there's no confusion about the message. All right, there we go. Looks like it's a steady stream here. All right, what's this about? I'm gonna do this new series called the Life Stream because live streams they don't necessarily turn into anything that's life-giving, right? Like, why are you on Facebook right now? Or if you're watching this on YouTube, when I put it on YouTube later, why are you even on YouTube? We're addicted. We are addicted, like a drug addict, to energy, to chasing the next high, the next thing, the next dopamine hit. If you know anything about how neuroscience works, you know. If you know anything about how your day to day behavior works, you know that you are a fiend for social media and you are so blind to it. This should disturb you. This should terrify you. How many times you just pull out your phone and just, oh, the little blue Facebook button, or oh, Instagram or TikTok or whatever you're into. Okay. now here's the point. Why did I title this Fuck Knowing? This is about living. Is because many of you will watch us say, oh, I know social media is not good for me. I know that it's a problem that we have more teenagers nowadays committing suicide than ever before because kids are addicted to the approval and things like that. Oh, oh, it says we're having trouble playing the video. Well, give me a second here. This is a way to kick off the live stream. Let me close some tabs here. My apologies if you're trying to watch this live, but we're interrupted. Stream health. I'll click that. Let's see if that's showing me. Facebook has not received video signal from that video source for some time. Here. I'm going to end this. I'm going to restart it from the top. Okay, cool. Cam says it's coming through here just fine. All right. Thanks, Cam. So, everyone, it's about you being guilty, just like me, for the fact that we live in a world that is so fucked up. Everybody knows it. They know it. But what do you do about it? What do you actually do about it? I was having a long conversation with my friends Drake and Pedro and Jessica, my girlfriend, who you likely know her from my videos. And if the live goes out, just someone leave a comment. But I'm just going to go at it. If I have to record this later, I will. There's a lot more where this came from. But really look at this. Okay. So Pedro, one of my friends, he's Gen Z. So he's a bit younger. He's 18. He's a young hustler. He works with me with Techno Tutor. He's in self-perfected, all that. He gets it. And he sees him and his friends that just graduated high school, they see the world is so fucked right now. I'm sure you see it too. Child sex trafficking. Politicians we can't trust. Media we can't trust. Half the people are obsessed with the mask. Half the people don't want the mask. It is so fucked up. And what are you doing about it? You can say you know. In knowing, that is the ultimate excuse. It's like the ultimate card that you're trying to play to get out of jail free. Except you're enslaved and you're imprisoned right now. Knowing is not enough. It's about living differently. We were looking up stats on child sex trafficking, and it's 0.5% of all people that are sex trafficked, mostly women and children. 0.5% is even known and comes into any form of the legal system where it can be corrected. That means 99.5% of this sex trafficking goes by unnoticed. But what do you do about it? Nothing. You just go through social media scrolling. It's an overwhelming thing to look at. Like, how would you possibly change that? Let's look at some solutions. Well, we'll do that a little later on in this episode, okay? I want to really highlight these facts because think about this. We have kids growing up now, Gen Z, right? Just 18, just graduated high school. Pedro, he's telling me how much of a joke it was the last half of the year when COVID happened. And then it's like trying to be online schooling, right? One, kids were never learning in school in the first place. Look back at high school and middle school. What did you actually learn that relates to you making more money, having real successful relationships, having a wife or husband that you actually love and you grow together? Not one thing came from school. I know for myself, I went to a very good public school here in Minnesota, and I'm grateful for it. But that by no means is what education is. That's called schooling. It's like a school of fish, and you all swim in the same direction, so you can all go on and get your jobs. And then I went to university too, a pretty nice university, and I have people who graduated me with me in university that are now driving Uber and they think they have job security. Something went really wrong there. And if you're driving Uber to make ends meet or whatever, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying you got to wake up. And it's not enough to just, well, I know that soon enough, like self driving cars are a thing. And I know that, um, like, competition for jobs is like increasing and, the economy's like maybe going to collapse because all the COVID stuff like fucked with everything. But then you don't actually change. I'm making these videos for the little bit of life that's left in you, that little spark. Like you ever have a bonfire and at the end there's like all the coals and it's like you can't even tell if it's still smoking, but underneath there's like a few embers still. There's a little bit left in you. And I'm making these videos and I'll be making many more to help blow the oxygen onto that fire and add more to it so it can come back to life. Because right now, what we think is life is a fucking abomination. It is not life. We live in a world where the vast majority of people are experiencing hell on earth, living on less than $1 a day. And you'll say, oh, well, their economy, it's different than in America. $1 can go much further there. Stop arguing for limitation. Stop accepting status quo. If you think and you believe those memes that go around online, like some kid in some raggedy ass dirty shirt, and they're like, oh, like happiness doesn't come from money. Just, be happy. You don't need much to be happy. If that's how you're thinking, go fucking trade places with them. You go live on a dirt floor in a shack. You would never do that. But you just say these things because someone said it and it made you feel good about the fact that a shitload of people in this world live basically in hell on earth. But because you're in America or a first world country or whatever, it's like, well, I give to charity. I'm good. Like that gives you a little pass. Okay, think about this. Imagine today you die. I'm not wishing that upon anyone. This is just a little thought experiment. Imagine today was literally the last day of your life and you're gone. And now you're sitting there like you're a being, like floating, right? And you are forced to look at your life and who you really were. What decisions did you make? How did you show up in your situations? Did you waste your time playing video games or bickering with your wife or your girlfriend or watching porn or smoking weed, staying high all the time? Did you think giving to charity was enough? Imagine this, that your life's done, the one shot you had. Would you grant yourself more life? A lot of us think, there's like God, he's in the sky or something. He's got like this hammer. He's going to judge, the gavel. Okay, you were good. You're good enough. You get in. Or, you believed X, Y, and Z doctrine, so you get into heaven. Oh, you're bad. You go to hell forever, right? What if you get the gavel, but you get to see in real hardcore self-honesty, holy shit, I was a parasite and I lived off the earth and I kept waiting for one day in the future, I'll make more money and then I can do something. Or this, that, the other thing. It was excuses. What if that is your whole life, everything you've ever cared about? In that moment, you get to see who you really are. Maybe that part woke you up, okay? Now think about this. Imagine there is no afterlife. Imagine there's no heaven. And you've been banking this whole time, like, well, we're here just temporarily. It's just the physical world's an illusion. Oh, that's a great one. People who say, oh, this physical world's an illusion. We're actually just one sea of consciousness energy, and it's all pure love. We're just here to have an experience. Okay, if that's how you're thinking, why the fuck are you still here? If it's better over there, the reason is because you haven't actually thought it through. And you're actually terrified of dying. Because on some level, you know, shit, this is my one life. I like this thing. But you've just been programmed or influenced, is another word of saying that, from a very, very young age, from literally when you were in the womb of your mother. And that has carried into every single aspect of your life, where you're accepting certain things about the world and you're allowing certain things about the world. Okay? So imagine this. There's no afterlife, right? And you are this being, right? So your body dies, goes back into the earth, and you're this being, and or you float back into, physical reality, and then boom, you pop out again. Now you're a new baby somewhere in the world. Okay. Right now, if you're watching this live stream and it's 10 a.m. Central Time on October something, 26th or 27th or whatever, 2020. If you right now you have time to watch a live stream, life's pretty good. You got, if it's winter time, you got heat on in your house or apartment or whatever. Or you have enough food, right? You have a lot of opportunity here to actually change things. Because imagine you were born in rural India, no access to electricity, no running water. You could die before you're 2 years old just from some disease, right? Imagine that was your life. How are you living your life now? In a way so that if you got another shot at life and you pop out into the world in some other country, some other walk of life, would the world be getting better or worse based on how you're living now? And don't bullshit yourself. Don't think that some savior out there, some person or group out there is like, really working to make this world a better place. Don't bullshit yourself. Yes, there are groups working toward sustainable solutions. But if you're not actively part of that and on some consistency devoting yourself to that, then you are a parasite living off of this earth just taking. Consider this. Humans are the only part of nature that has the ability to think, and that has fucked us because we think we're special, and then we can have ideas like hoarding resources and taking and being better than others or being worse than others instead of realizing our equality. When was the last time the sun or the trees or the air or the water said, "Oh, no, I'm good today. I'm not going to give to the humans." Like, we'd be so fucked. Everything in nature is giving. It's a giant cycle of giving. That's why we say life is forgiving. Life is for giving. Yet, isn't life forgiving? How much have we fucked up the earth? How many oil spills have we had? How many times have we burned things down? How much pollution has gone into the world? Yet life is forgiving. But for how much longer can we keep abusing the system? I don't know. That's why I'm doing something about it. That's why I'm making these live streams. That's why I devote myself every day and every week to connect with new people, to bring about real solutions. The most important one is education. This right here is education. Education is not what you did in school when you were growing up. That was a systematic abuse on the human. And I get it. I know where the school system comes from. I know a lot of people in education. A lot of them are very good intentioned people. They mean well. But you're not seeing the bigger system behind what's really going on and where the world is headed. By that specifically, I mean school, education, as we have known it, is designed to get us to fall in line, be an employee, rise up to be a manager, and keep the system in place. What you don't realize is that there are things going on, such as automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, that are changing the landscape of work. And then you have things like the World Economic Forum talking openly about the Great Reset. If you don't know what that is, look into it. A lot of changes are happening, especially with COVID, the riots, all that stuff. It's being used politically, obviously, and we've never seen this before. And so our economy is changing drastically. And just because you don't see the effects of it right now, and maybe you do, maybe you've been laid off, maybe you don't know if you're going to keep getting that unemployment check, whatever your situation is, we haven't even begun to really see the consequences of this. Right now, we're still seeing consequences of what's happened over the past decade in our lives playing out. Now, who are you? Who are you? Are you the kind of person that will just say, well, fuck it, I don't know? Because if that's you, not only you shouldn't watch these videos, but you should just take me off your friends list. If that's actually like repulsive to you, the idea of fundamentally changing yourself and working together as a team to create systemic level change, then don't keep being my friend on Facebook. But there's a little bit of life deep down within you that knows he's talking about something that's real. And I know a lot of people talk about, oh, change the world, right? Be the change you want to see, all that. There's a lot of reasons why that doesn't work. But the biggest one is, again, because it's all about, oh, I know that we're supposed to change the world. I know that we need to be the change. I know that the world's like fucked up and I need to like make a bunch of money to change it, or I need to donate to charity, or I need to whatever. But knowing doesn't mean shit. Living is the answer. Real living. Here's a practical example of that. I talk a lot about living words. That'll make sense over time. That took me a while to understand what living words meant. But think about this. What are you like when you're living the word fear? Think about that. You could probably picture it in your mind, right? You're kind of timid. You maybe feel sick to your stomach. You don't want to do anything. You kind of shy away from people, right? Or maybe if you're fearful, you actually express that in anger and you lash out at people when really you're just afraid. You're unsure, right? That's living fear. That's a pretty blatant example. Well, what does it look like to live change or to live forgiveness or to live correction or to live as expansion? And I know that's like esoteric to some people and like, what does that even mean? But really look at that. What would living in an expansive way really look like? You'd probably be talking to new people. You might be going to different events. You might push yourself and go out in public and not just wear a mask because everyone else is doing it. Maybe you'd add new people as friends on Facebook and start conversations, things like that. Maybe you would do a live stream. That's what living a word means. So that would be living expansion. So there's a lot to cover here, but I'm making these videos because it's two things. One, I'm fed up with status quo and with people who are ignorant of what's really going on in the world. But I realize it's not them being ignorant that's the problem that I'm judging. Me being aware that people are ignorant is a mirror reflection to me of where I'm ignorant still. And I research a lot of this stuff, but I'm still ignorant. So I'm not up here on a high horse saying bad, bad other people, I'm so great. I'm making this for us to wake the fuck up and start being part of living solutions. So that's the other big reason I'm making this, is because I get a lot of people who reach out in the messages and they say, hey, I've been watching you for a while. I like what you're talking about. This is cool. Can I get involved? And I started the whole part of this video on the hardcore stuff because I like to get people triggered. Like if I were to just title this video, "Life is Good" or like "Live a Better Life," no one would fucking watch it. That's why I say fuck knowing, because we live in such a world of everyone's desensitized. I mean, like, how many murders does the average person see on TV, right? Or imagine, I don't know if you ever lived in a big city, even any city, and you see homeless people, and you just like, I remember when I was living right outside New York City, and I would go into Manhattan and have meetings, and you get there at 7 a.m. and it's like the rush hour, and you see a whole family of homeless people just like laying there on cardboard in the subway station because that's their home. And it does something to you. In those moments, you learn on a subconscious and a conscious level, life is not valued equally. The world is fucked up. Yet, we can do something about it. We have to do something about it. I urge you, for whatever bit of life is still left in you, to do something about it. But don't just go do anything. Don't just stand on the street corner yelling. Or like you need a strategy to do this. You need to understand things like how the world works, sales, communication, how to set up a system and operations for a business, how to do accounting. If you want to be effective, you need to have money, but the money doesn't come first. I talk to a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm going to be a billionaire, then I'm going to make an impact. I'm going to be a successful influencer. I want to make it in Hollywood or be a celebrity. Then I'll make an impact. Then I'll give back. No, you have it all wrong. Starting point first. Starting point is life. Starting point is being here, realizing I'm one and equal to everything. Right now it's fucked up, but I can address it within and we can address it without. And in that process, you will make money. You will live an awesome life. You have to become someone that people want to listen to. So you'll have the nice clothes. You'll have the nice car if you want that. Some people just want a small, like a small homestead or ranch with some animals and they can be self-sustaining. That's cool too. Whatever it is where you can rise to your spot in the world system. Some of us are going to get into politics. We have a political party that I'll be talking a lot about on this podcast, whatever you want to call this. I will probably put this in the podcast. Some of us have a skill in law, in the legal system, because if we want to actually change the system, you need to understand that it's laws that do that, not prayer, not meditation, not whatever you think it is, not voodoo, whatever you're into. It's not that. It's having a network, being a good communicator, and understanding how laws work. That is how you change the system. So some of us are going to do that. Others might need to start a homeschooling, education center. Others will start sustainable food or get involved in healthcare, whatever. There's like 11 pillars to this. 3 main ones: education, finances, politics. So this is the purpose of these live streams. I call it Livestream. It's just about life. Not, oh, this is my life. Oh, life is hard right now. Or, oh, like my life is going good. No, life with a capital L. The life. the thing that's everything, that we've suppressed and we've abused hardcore, the same life that's still in you that you've suppressed and abused and repressed hardcore. But it's still here. Even though it's all fucked up, it's still here and we can build with it. And throughout this podcast, I will share things with you, like how I've automated a lot of my money coming in, how I just moved into a phenomenal home with my girlfriend, how we're planning in the next couple of years to have kids and homeschool them and have them be the smartest kids in the world, because we're learning from the best, Cameron Cope and Katie Cope, and their kids Max and Seneca. If you don't know who they are, Max just turned 4. He can code computers, he can explain plant life cycles to you, he can tell you what germination is, what a cotyledon is. I don't know what the fuck a cotyledon is, but he's teaching me. Seneca can do addition. She just turned 2. She can actually do addition, and you can flip the numbers around, and she knows it. A lot of people say, well, they're just special. That's just their DNA. Okay, well, just keep watching, and I'll explain how this is possible because we have other parents doing this. Bruce and Kristen up in, I think, Alberta, in Canada. They're phenomenal. They have 4 kids. They had a relationship. You will hear their story over time, and I'll have them on this show, of them going from on the brink of divorce for many years to now really working together as a family unit. It's so cool what's possible. To then tons of other young guys in particular, young men and women, who intend to have kids in the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. And this isn't about hope. Fuck hope. Obama's whole message of hope, he knew exactly what he was doing. They all knew what they were doing. Abandon your hope. Hope is what we like to call mysticism, thinking that something outside yourself is going to come and save the day. Spoiler alert, it's you who's going to save the day, or you're not. But who are you? If you want to save the day, but you don't know how, save the day. We have networks for that, okay? So not only is it Quan Bennett, I actually have not read these messages. There's a bunch on here. I will read them in a moment. With this live stream, I will feature these people who not only have kids right now or intend to have kids, but also people who are very effective at selling, building businesses, investing money, educating people, redesigning schools, sustainable farming, things that are practical, very practical solutions. Because I don't see anyone else doing this. I don't see anyone else bringing this all together. I mean, there are a few people that I know who do this. But I'm not seeing this in the mainstream yet. Because starting point, people. Starting point of, oh, I know, or human nature can't really change, or the world's fucked up and like I'll do my best, but like we're still sinful or whatever. Okay, yes, we are sinful in the sense that we miss the mark, but the mark is just doing what's best. And human nature can change. I can show you 30 different people off the top of my head that are probably on Facebook right now that I can bring on these live streams. That you will see how they have fundamentally changed. And it's not overnight. It's like 2 months. But 2 months is going to pass anyway. Where are you going to be? And we'll show you people. And you'll see this take a life of its own, just like what's happening with Self-Perfected, just like what's happening with TechnoTutor, what's happening with Desteni, what's happening with the different businesses that I run. Locally, we have meetups. Locally, we have a group called Elite Education that's doing phenomenal things here around the Twin Cities. And it's still just in its infancy. But there's a lot happening that's really good. It's very life-giving. And I get a lot of enjoyment from it. I'm going to share that. But I will trigger people so that you wake up and you open up enough to hear the message. And I will also show you different ways to make a lot of money selling products, investing, to, like I said, I'm now at a point where I've automated a lot of my income. I have many videos explaining how I went from making about 2 to 3K a month in profit to now it's still 20 to 30 grand profit coming in, and that's on the side. But I'm not going to share that with you so you can just make that money and then be good for yourself. Because that's fucking evil. Are you the kind of person, like, yes, I realize you need money. And if you have kids and you need to put food on the table, I will show you different ways to make money and do that. However, if you're not stable and you aren't clear on your own starting point, more money will just make your problems worse. Money will accentuate what's going on inside and who you are. So that's why I'm so grateful it took me a while to get to this point of building wealth. Because my inner program was all fucked up. But I've changed it through using techno-tutor, self-forgiveness, talking with the right people, getting the right mentorship. Now I'm really part of the right groups where we're going to go all the way with this. And you will see us get into politics. You will see us change the laws. You'll see us have examples of families where we have kids and then grandkids of the most effective humans you've ever seen. Where Bill Gates, a lot of people think Bill Gates is really smart. Some people think he's evil. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, those people, what they were doing at 7 and 8, we have kids at 3 and 4 doing that now. And when you know anything about early childhood development, natural learning ability, first 7 years, just keep watching. And beyond just watching, because then you'll fall into the syndrome of, oh, well, I know. Oh, okay, I know. That's cool. No, not good enough. Living. Living is the real solution. So throughout this, I'll share all that. Now what? Well, Monday morning here, got a full week. I'm going to put this in the podcast app so you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple, all that. I will have this on YouTube. Share this with people. Who here hates the news because it's so negative? Right? Hate the news, but you still kind of watch it because you want to know what's going on in the world. That's a lot that I'm going to bring into this too, is current events. In America, we have the election coming up. There's a lot at stake in this election. I don't think it will be known on November 3rd I think it will be known on November 3rd who the winner is. But I know that there's going to be a big contesting of it. And there's going to be a lot of pissed off people, no matter who wins. And I hear a lot of people talking about civil war in the US. I'm looking more into that, if that's even a thing. But I will do everything in my power to be a source and a force for life, common sense, doing what's best for all. I have principles that I live by. I'll close it out on this. They're on my YouTube. Okay? Close out episode 1 on this. They're on my YouTube. You can look them up too. It's from Desteni, from Self Perfected, all of that. It's the same principles, 13 of them. You can look on self-perfected.com/principles, PRINCIPLES. You can look on my YouTube. I can put it in the comments here. And these are the principles that I stand for. But it's the principles that we as a group stand for. The main group, Self Perfected, Techno Tutor, Equal Life Party, Desteni, all that. Because the only thing that's going to bring us to a better world is when we operate from principle instead of just energy, emotion, the mind, and all that. This is the opportunity for you to make a change. Because if your life, whether it's good or it's shitty, it's nowhere near what it could be. Because right now, in the back of your mind, you still have to lock your door at night. You still have to look over your shoulder if it's dark and you're walking outside. You still have to think about, where's my food coming from? Can I trust this? Can I trust that person? Is this media? Is this what I'm reading on Facebook? Is this real? Is this not? There's an inherent distrust within ourselves and within everything. But this content is going to expose you to different ways to learn how to trust yourself and how we can build a real trust between each other through agreement, through principle, through common sense, and then through verifying. I don't trust anyone unless they've deserved it. And even then, I still verify. But that's the best way to do it. And self trust leads to self awareness, self responsibility. It comes through self honesty. You can change it through self forgiveness and self correction. And it results in self power. But it's not power just for you to be good. It's not power for you to make a bunch of money and then say, oh, fuck you to everybody else. It's self power, real power, where you can then begin to influence the system itself. And you can get into positions of power. You can change things. And you can work together as a group where we can actually change this once and for all. So it's not just one person going up against the system. It's not just me. It's not just Asif, Kian, Cameron, Drake. These other people that I work with. Katie, Jess. It's not just one of us or a few of us. It's a whole movement of people. It's a culture of people with a higher standard because we actually have principle and we will call each other out on it. So that's what this is going to be about. I have a lot more of these coming, a lot more, and share it. Check it out on my YouTube. Listen to it again. I cover a lot in here, and know that where I'm coming from is the starting point of waking y'all up, waking myself up even more for that little bit of life that's still left inside of us, to cause that to start growing again and expanding and evolving, so then we can all do that together. And then it's a network, and then that goes from 0.01% of the world population to 0.1%, to 1%, to 2%, to 4%, 8%, 16%. And at that point, it's inevitable that it grows. So I don't care if it takes the rest of my life. This is what I'm doing because it's who I am. So thanks for watching. And I encourage you now to ask yourself, who are you and how are you going to live differently? Not just saying, oh, I know this stuff. Yeah, I know. But live differently. All right. Thanks for watching. Till next time.